This is the Giulietta, Alfa's stunning new 5-door compact, tasked with replacing the aging 147 and, more importantly, winning over more buyers to the charismatic Italian mark. The Giulietta is Italian from the tip of its offset front number plate to the simplicity and muscularity of its back end. It's Italian on the inside too, with beautifully designed main switches that take their inspiration from the Alfa 8C Competizione, and on our spec'd-up test car, the sporty black leather seats and embroidered headrests. Unfortunately, the Giulietta is quintessentially Italian in other ways too. The pedals are slotted tightly together and there's nowhere to rest your left foot. You can't adjust the seat back without grazing your knuckles, and rear visibility is appalling. Meanwhile, the rev counter is clear, visible and easy to read, but the speedo is none of these. Yes, it does have flaws, but the Giulietta also has an abundance of style, colour and spirit, which will help you to ignore its faults. Because above all else, it's Italian under the bonnet. With 232 bhp and prodigious torque from low revs, the top-of-the-range Cloverleaf feels more like a 3-litre V6 than a turbocharged 1750. Use the 6-speed gearbox properly and you should be able to reach 62 miles an hour in 6.8 seconds, and on to a top speed of 150. It has such amazing eagerness that it's all too easy to drift over the speed limit, a risk not helped by that almost impossible to read speedo. When you're really in the mood to party, there's the DNA button. This acts on the engine, brakes, steering and suspension, giving you a choice of N for normal driving, D for dynamic, or A for all weather, the latter for slippery conditions. Trundle along in N and flick the switch to D, and the sudden rocket-like thrust will amaze you. Of course, you'll struggle to achieve the combined economy figure of 37.2 mpg, but your tax disc will cost just the same, whichever mode you choose. Unless you're on bumpy back roads or stuck in town, the D mode is so much more fun that you'll turn a blind eye to the less than frugal fuel consumption. If not, what's the point of having a car like this? Although Alfa sees the Giulietta as a replacement for the 147, there's no 3-door version and it's a whole lot bigger. There's 16% more luggage space for a start, and being squarer in shape, the Giulietta is 21% wider. Safety-wise, it achieves a 5-star Euro NCAP crash rating with the highest ever overall score in its class. The Cloverleaf model, which starts at 24,495, is the quickest, flashiest and by far the most expensive Giulietta in the range, but it's not necessarily the best. The ride is a bit harsh at times, thanks to lowered suspension and 18-inch alloys. The 1.4 Multi-Air, meanwhile, is £5 cheaper, but that's not the point. It still offers 168 brake horsepower, giving 0 to 62 in 7.8 seconds. We found it more fun and more Alfa-like to drive than this model, with a lighter nose for better handling. We reckon that's the one to get.